Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining you as always is your host, Trent D'Alton, and we are through another round of football. Round 19 is completed, and I'm here to review all of the action that happened in it. There was some really good performances. There was some upset victories, teams dropping games. There was an outstanding performance on the round too, probably the more outstanding performance on the round. There were some disappointing teams, so we're here to go over all that and review it and give my views on what it is. So first of all, sorry, if it's your first time watching along, if you're watching on YouTube or listening along through Spotify and Apple Podcasts, we rank each team's performance for that round on a tier list, and the tier list follows as elite, contenders, decent, disappointing, and 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. So, as I always say, I want to stress that the way I rank these teams is how they performed that round. Not for the season, it's that round. So, without further ado, let's get into it and review all the games, starting off with the Thursday night game. Let's go. All right, so Thursday night, we had the Bombers v the Giants. As I just opened up the document here, I had it on the wrong one. But Bombers v the Giants on Thursday night at Marvel, and it was no surprise. The Giants getting it done by 48 points over the Bombers there. 7-14-56 defeated by 16-8, 104. Multiple goal kickers were right for the Bombers. He kicked 2, and Liam McMahon on debut also kicked 2, so really good for him there. Jake Stringer had a game and a half against his old team, 18 disposals and 3 goals. Cal Brown, Jake Riccardi, Toby Green, and Gruzeski, I think is how you say his name, all kicked 2 each for the Giants. Bombers were a bit disappointing. Only leading disposal getter for that round was Jack Merritt with 29. Looked a bit on a string earlier on, but went a bit quieter after that. Callahan again, 33, 537 metres gained. Tom Green continues magnificent form, 30, but he went 87% efficiency, 17 contested. I love that he's impacting the scoreboard. He had 1 goal, 16 clearances, 4 goal assists, and 8 score involvements. Whitfield also had 29 off that half-back line, as did Lockie Ash, who had 27, going at 10 intercepts and 7 rebound 50s. Now, the Giants are really starting to hum now. We'll obviously go over where the ladder is at the end of the episode, but just quickly, they currently sit 6th on the ladder, and I think they're really starting to find their mojo with Tom Green and Finn Callahan through that middle. Then Jesse Hogan, Cadman up forward. I think they're really starting to find their feet. As for the Bombers, it's always going to be hard. They've had to bring in another debutant for the season. It's just been a real hard year for them with injuries, and it's hard to be too harsh on them. But as for the rankings, I'm going to go to Giants in elite. I just love the way that they're going about it. I think they're really starting to hit their feet and be a really damaging team come September. As for the Bombers, I'm going to quite go disappointing because they didn't put up that great of a fight. It's probably a bit harsh, but I'm going to put them in disappointing for now. Then we move over to Friday night, and what a game we had here at the Gabba. Brisbane Lions v the Western Bulldogs. Now, the weather did come down really, really hard. It didn't rain much throughout the game, but a lot of the damage was done earlier on pre-game in Brisbane, making it very slippery conditions. And we know that pre-game they weren't able to go out and do their warm-ups on the ground. They had to do it inside because of how bad the conditions, the wind and the rain was. But it was the Lions who managed to just hold on by 10 points after a fast homecoming Western Bulldogs who came home really strong. Will Ashcroft was the star for the Lions. He kicked 3. Kyle Lohman kicked 2. Berry kicked 2. Levi Ashcroft also kicked 2. As for the Bulldogs, really like Riley West, the way he's really built as a player. He kicked 4. Norton also kicked 2. And they did well to restrict Darcy to just the 1 goal Brisbane Lions. So that's another tick that they can have up there. I get it was wet conditions. Wasn't a night for big, tall, key forwards. But we know Darcy still is good below his feet for a man who's over 210 centimetres. To restrict him to 1 goal, I think is a real positive. As for disposals, Dunkley continues his tackling pressure. He's been on a rampage as of late, 28 and 15 tackles. Hugh McCluggage in game 200. Now, I couldn't believe McCluggage was already at 200. I was speaking to the Outer East president on the way up. We had a dinner on Saturday night. And we were speaking up on the way there, and we couldn't believe it. It felt like McCluggage, it was just yesterday he was playing. Then we looked, I was like, he is 27. But I just feel like that this 200 games has come really quick, and what are 200 games he has put together as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he'll make the 40-man All-Australian squad this year, but his name will be be thrown around as a player to make the actual team. I think he's had an exceptional season. 27, 18 contested, 7 clearances, 8 score involvements. Will Ashcroft, as I mentioned, 26 and 3, huge. And Zorko, just his kicking off halfback, set the standard for the team and really broke the game apart earlier on. And as the game wore on, 25 and 647 metres game. Ballydale was also good off halfback, 33, 10 intercepts, 11 rebound 50s, and 745 metres gain. Ed Richards, again, 27, 7 clearances, and Bontempelli had 24 to go along with a goal and 10 tackles. Now, the Brisbane Lions were really good, but they missed some really opportunities going in front of goals. Now, we know this is a common thing for the Brisbane Lions, where they can be a bit wayward in front of goal, but they did manage to hold on, and I thought they played it really well, but nothing to hide from the Bulldogs. Just shy away from the Bulldogs, only going down by the 10 points against Brisbane Lions at the Gabba. Lockie Neal said on Triple M that he thinks this is one of their better games that they played, barred the conversion rate in front of goal. So Brisbane Lions obviously started off the year, I think it was 5 in a row, he said on the radio. And to my knowledge, it was 5 or 6 in a row they won, but it wasn't convincing. Now they're really starting to get going. You see Charlie Cameron starting to hit the scoreboard now. I thought he had a really poor first half of the year, but he's really starting to hit the scoreboard now, which is really good. Kicked the goal, but didn't bring out the Harley-Davidson motorbike celebration as of yet. I think he's just saving that till he gets a few more to go through the big sticks. But as for the Western Bulldogs, as I said, they'll just get. I don't think this is their year. I just don't see them playing finals this year. As for the rankings, Brisbane Lions can go in. I'm going to put them both in contenders. Where's the doggies? Here we go. The doggies. I'm going to put them both in contenders for now, and we can always reshuffle them at the end. I just thought for now, we can put them in contenders because of how much they fought back, and they nearly came back. They get some quick last quarter goals and really made a contest for Brisbane to hold on to. Then we move over to Saturday at UTAS Stadium, and it was the Hawks getting the job done here by 38 points over Port Adelaide, 13-9-87, defeating 7-7-49. It was Mitch Lewis's return game back, but he didn't unfortunately hit the scoreboard. It'll be a slow burning with him. I really like the way he attacks the footy, and his height is so good. So I think give him another week or two, he might start to build into it. Gunston kicked 3. Impey had a game and a half, playing a bit more higher up the ground too. He kicked 3. Deer kicked 2. Moore was exceptional, playing a bit more midfield time. He kicked 2 as well. As for the Port Adelaide, Lukosius and Georgiades kicked 2 each. As I mentioned, with Dylan Moore, he had 32 to go along with 2 goals and 6 clearances. Harwig's exceptional off that half-back line, 27, 8 intercepts, 10 rebound 50s, and 814 metres gain. Warple is just playing some good footy lately and making it more interesting as his contract, his free agency comes at it. More clubs might start to get interested in him after a performance like that. 26, 14 contested, 9 clearances and 7 tackles. As I mentioned, Jarman Impey, 26 and 3 goals. I really like the look of Josh Ward. He had 26, 18 contested, 9 tackles and 6 clearances. Now, Jace Burgoyne played a bit more of a midfield halfback and midfield role this week. 26, 9 intercepts and 6 clearances. Really good game from him. Wines, 26 and 10 clearances, definitely still has it. And Farrell off that halfback line had 25, 11 intercepts, 7 rebound 50s, and 805 metres game. Now, it's going to come into a sticky situation here for the Hawthorn because they're going to have to leave one of their tools out. So you got Gunston, Gunston and Chol, who were the mainstays for now. And now coming back is Deer and Lewis. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one. I think Deer's come back in some really good form, consistently impacting the scoreboard. Gunston's a lock. He's not even in the question. It's just who's going to play that second one because they can't play all 4 or all 3 in the same forward line. They're just not mobile enough, in my personal opinion, to play that. Well, they definitely can't play 4. They might get away with 3, but their small forwards are still so damaging too. You want Watson, Ginnivan, more at the feet. Connor McDonald plays your high half forward role. So I think that's what interesting is going to be. And I love the way how Jack Ginnivan celebrated with the aeroplane. But more the fact was I love the way how Ken Hinkley just copped it and said, look, it was my turn. And I love that for Jack. Really good to see by him there. As for the Hawks, I'm going to put them in elite for that performance. Another thing was, I don't know, I put it on the agenda why he didn't do it last week, but this week they didn't make the same mistake twice. They sent Finn McGuinness to Zach Butters, and I just want to go back and have a look at Zach Butters. He definitely didn't get over 25. So if we go back, have a look. He limited Zach Butters to just the 18 disposals. So really good game. Really good game. Stuff there. Stuff done by Finn McGuinness, limiting Zach Butters to just 18 disposals because we know how damaging Zach Butters is on the inside with his contested work, but also can get on the outside and create opportunities. Just his never say die attitude. Just consistently goes hard at the footy, doesn't know any other way. But the Hawks, for me, are in contenders, and Port Adelaide, I want to put... I want to put Port Adelaide in... I'll put them in decent. I'll just leave them in decent for now. As we move over to the other game, Sydney, the other Saturday game, Sydney v North Melbourne, and this was the performance of the round by none other than Isaac Heeney. Sydney Swans did get the job done by 31 points, 12-12, 84, 7-11, 53. But just have a listen to these stats by Isaac Heeney. 34 disposals, going at 85% efficiency. Kicked the 5 goals and had 16 clearances. That is an enormous game. And hats off to Isaac Heeney. Really put the team on his back and just absolutely dominate. There's nothing better than watching a player dominate a game like that, and especially the types of players, your Isaac Heeneys, your Bontempellis, your Christian Petrarcas, the ones that can go forward and impact the scoreboard as well, are the best types of forwards to watch. Even the likes of now Isaac Rankin, your Cozzy Pickett's. It's the best type of... let me know if you agree, but that's the best type of players to watch. The midfielders who can push forward and also really impact the scoreboard, because they're the game breakers. They're the ones who take the game away from the opposition. As for other goalkeepers, Buller kicked 2, and Cooper Harvey again backed up his four goals last week, 4 or 5, with 2 this week. As for other disposals, Blakey was exceptional, 29 going to 83% efficiency, 8 rebound 50s and 777 metres gain. Mills had 28 going at 89% efficiency, and Warner had 26 to go on the goal and 10 score roll. And Simpkin battled hard, 28 a goal at 809 metres gain. Daniel had 27 going at 85%. And Sheasel had 27 a goal. David Juniak had 26, 2 goal assists and 7 score moments. But there was a big question, was who was playing on Isaac Heeney. You can't let him run riot like that. And for that pure reason, I'm putting... Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but... It might be a little sneak peek of what it might be. But Sydney Swans, I'm going to put them in contenders for now. And North Melbourne, I'm going to put... Yeah, they have to go disappointing. Now, Saturday night is definitely a tip I got wrong, because Carlton managed to bounce back, getting the win over Melbourne by 8 points, 12-6-78 to 10-10-70. It was good to see young up-and-coming player Ashton Moyer star with 4 goals. Charlie Curnow back to his goal-kicking form after a couple of weeks goalless or sets of 1. He kicked 3. Pickett was enormous with 5 goals. If I go over look at his disposals too, he's just showing exactly why Melbourne gave him this contract. We just go through. He had 5 goals going with 23 disposals, 2 goal assists, 2 clearances as well. So a big game there from Cozzy Pickett. Was unable to get him over the line though. Fritsch also kicked 2. Now Fritsch is definitely on the market if there's a club looking for him. I know Collingwood are possibly interested in picking up a Bailey Fritsch or any club there. I think he'd be a handy player because let's not forget, he kicked 6. Was it 6 or 7? I'm going to say 6 in a grand final. Consistently hits the scoreboard. Yes, he can be a bit selfish with it at times, but sometimes you got to. I think he's getting better, and you got to take that because you know he's going to impact the scoreboard as well. As for disposals wise, Cripps led the way for the Blues, skipper, 29 and 8 clearances. As for Melbourne, Rivers, 27, 581 metres gain. Oliver in game 250? 250. 26 and 7 clearances. Bowie had 26 at 85% efficiency and Salem 25 going at 80%. I thought it was a good win for Carlton. I personally tipped Melbourne, so I'm going to put Carlton. It wasn't. I'm just going to chuck them both in decent for now, but yeah. West Coast v Richmond, before we even get started, West Coast goes straight into 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. You've dropped a home game to Richmond, the team that was not supposed to win a game this year by 49 points. Disgraceful. And this talk about you asking for a priority pick, save it. You don't get nothing. I'm sick of clubs requesting priority picks. Figure it out yourself. You got yourself in this hole. Dig yourself out. But it was Tigers get the job done by 49 points at Optus Stadium, 16-9, 105 to 8-56. Harley Reid, mind you, though, was really good for the West Coast. He was probably their best player on the ground. 27 disposals, 2 goals, 6 clearances and 6 tackles. Liam Ryan also kicked 2. As for the Tigers, G's Taranto ran amok, 30 disposals, 3 goals and 7 clearances. Mansell also kicked 3. Fall kicked 2. Hopper kicked 2 to go on with 33 and 8 clearances. Campbell also kicked 2. So big gains for them there. Duggan tried his hardest to skip it down back, 31 going at 81% efficiency and 7 score involvements. Reed, 27 we mentioned. Baker, 25 and 6 clearances. We mentioned Hopper, mentioned Taranto. Ross, 25 and 9 tackles. Now Ross, after a great first half by Harley Reid, he had 20 disposals in the first half. They sent Ross to tag him in the second half and did nullify him a fair bit, but then Harley was able to push forward. I want to see if he got those goals in the second half. Let's have a look. Yeah, so he managed to push forward after being Ross going to him in the second half, and he kicked 2 in the last quarter. So that's a positive sign for Harley Reid. They can have that string up his bow because he's so powerful. You wouldn't want to be in a one-on-one marking contest with him. And just imagine as he gets older and develops into his body. But that's a big tick for... Who am I trying to say? Adamuze. It's a big tick for Adamuze, notifying that Harley Reid was tearing the game apart and having that Jack Ross player to go to him. The Tigers, from that performance, elite. I'm putting them in elite. They dominated West Coast at home and just, especially the experienced midfielders, just overpowered the West Coast Eagles. And as I mentioned, the West Coast Eagles can go in... 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. Now we move over to the Sunday games. We start off with Geelong v St Kilda at GMHBA Stadium. And it was the Cats 17-11, 113, defeating the Saints 12-10, 82 by 31 points. Cameron at goal kickers, Cameron kicked 5 for the Cats and was absolutely phenomenal. High-rated game for him. Manor was huge, 23, and I believe he had 23 and 20-odd touches to go on with it as well if we go over here. Yeah, so he had 23. Listen for this for a game. 24 disposals, 3 goals, 3, 11 tackles, 2 goal assists, and 2 clearances. A huge game for Sean Manor. Been such a great pickup since they got him last year in the draft after battling hard at Werribee for so long and getting picked up at the age of 28, I want to say. Was it 28 or 26? 26. I knew it was one of them. I knew it was an even number. It's 26, but he's been such a good pickup for him. I especially like his tackling pressure that he lays. Dangerfield, Martin, and Stengel all kicked 2 each as well. Owens and Wangani Malira, geez, he just gets better and better and adds another string to his bow. Played as a full-time midfielder this week, and he had 36 disposals, 2 goals, 10 clearances, 2 goal assists, 9 score involvements, and 642 metres gained. If he doesn't get you done in the back half, he'll get you done through the middle. It's just his ball use is phenomenal, and he's got that running capability. Really, so if he goes across to another team, it'll be interesting to see if they want to play him as a halfback or as a pure midfielder or a bit of both, like what Ross does with him and Sinclair. It'll be interesting to see there. Sharman and Higgins and Wood all kicked 2 each as well. For the Cats, Holmes had 32, 8 score involvements, and 809 metres gained. Myers, geez, he's so good. I can't lie, I was a doubter of Myers early in his career. I didn't think he was much chop, but these last few years, he's definitely proven me wrong. 26 disposals, going 85% efficiency and 11 score involvements, whilst Dempsey off that wing had 25, a goal, 3 goal assists, and 10 score involvement. We mentioned Wanganeen-Malira, but also the other player we mentioned is Sinclair. He had 33 and 9 intercepts. It was a much-needed win here for the Cats. I had a message come through in the group chat by former co-host Will saying Saints head-to-head. I just said, mate, you're kidding yourself. The Cats aren't dropping a game first of St Kilda, but first at GMHBA Stadium. The only people that they lose at GMHBA Stadium to is GWS. They're not losing to St Kilda, and they really did flex their muscles, especially with Cameron down there and Manor, a sidekick down there as a forward too. So for the Cats, I'm going to put them in. I want to say, let's go contenders. And Saints, I'll put them in decent. All right. Let me have it. Collingwood have lost again. My beloved Magpies have gone down by 1 point to Freo. 1 point! Oh, I couldn't believe it. I absolutely couldn't believe it. We had that lead in that last quarter. We looked like we were kicking away. But credit to the Dockers. We know how boring they can be with the ball, but they decided to take the game on. And I don't understand why they don't do this more often. They have elite ball users off the back line with Luke Ryan and Jordan Clark. Hayden Young played as the sub and then came on and played as a mid forward. And he's an elite ball user. Andrew Brayshaw is a good ball user. So I don't know why they don't do that so often. And Luke Jackson just went to another level as well in that quarter. But hats off to Freo. It's a win that they needed to prove that they do belong in this with these top teams in the finals. 11-12-78 defeated by 12-7-79. Myercheck, Elliott, and Sidebottom all kicked 2. Paddy Voss. Paddy Voss kicks 6 goals. It'll be interesting that's probably his best game I think he might ever play in his career when you think about it. And if I look at it right, yeah, he had 3 in the first quarter. He played on Darcy Moore and just really took him to places that he didn't really want to go. Then they had to switch him around. A couple of people had to go at him. They had Braden Maynard on him at one point. They had Isaac Quaynor on him at some points. So hats off to Paddy Voss. I love the way he attacks the footy, and 6 goals is not any mean feat. Amos also kicked 2. I'm just still struggling to see what Amos. He's hit the scoreboard these last 2 weeks, but with Paddy Voss playing like that, could they play? I'm not sure. I'm not. Obviously, being over here in Melbourne, we don't know who else is out there. But is it time to maybe even give him a rest? Because I don't think he's performing at the abilities that he would have. And that he is intended to. Nick Dacos. Now, this was an interesting one. Craig McRae did say in the pre-game, but Nick Dacos, he's a bit sore. But so what they did to try and manipulate it was they put Nick Dacos to half-back and they put Josh Dacos in the middle. Nick had about 5 or 6 real early touches and kicked a goal. Went to the bench, came back on, went straight into the middle. So it was a bit of mind games there, and I really loved the way that they tried to manipulate it. Didn't get the win in the end, but he had 43 disposals to go along with a goal, 8 clearances, 7 tackles, 8 score overs, and 778 metres gained. Josh Dacos, the other high disposal getter, was 25. Caleb Sarong was also huge. I love the way Sarong plays. I've mentioned that before, but in crucial stages, he really lifted. 37, a goal, 9 clearances, 9 score overs, and 671 metres gained. Luke Ryan also had 25, going at 85% efficiency. I love the game of Luke Jackson too. He just seemed to be everywhere, especially late in the game. Is it time to start believing a bit in Freo? I'm not sure, but this was a really good win for them. So for the Pies, I'm still going to put the Pies. I'm still going to put them in contenders, and the Dockers have to go in elite after knocking off the top of the ladder. The last game of the round, was this a rude awakening, or was this the arrival of the Adelaide Crows? The Adelaide Crows absolutely bullied the Gold Coast Suns by 61 points at the Adelaide Oval, 16-11. 107 defeated 6-10-46. It was so disappointing after such the high stakes after the last game with Mac Andrew and right, Thilthorpe after the siren, but Adelaide Crows just came in, flexing muscles. Definitely was a bit of feeling in it, but just flexing muscles and dominated the game. Neil Bullen kicked 3, Rankin, Walker, Thilthorpe all kicked 2 as well, and all just single goal kickers for the Gold Coast Suns. As for disposals, Neil Bullen had 31, 3 goals, 2 goal assists, and 12 scorer involvements. Worrell off the back line also had 25, 88, going at 88% efficiency, 11 marks and 11 intercepts. Rao battled hard, 30, 12 clearances and 9 tackles. Fiorini had 28, Flanders had 28, going at 82% efficiency, a goal and 6 clearances. And Anderson had 27. But I just think, was this possibly a rude awakening for the Gold Coast Suns, or is this a mulligan? They just did come off beating obviously Collingwood. Beating Collingwood last week at home, but I think this might be the arrival of the Adelaide Crows. We need to start taking them a bit more seriously. They've got stars all over the park, so I think this might be the arrival of Adelaide Crows, and we start taking them a bit more seriously. So I'm putting them straight in elite, and the Gold Coast Suns 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach, just the way that they showed up by that. So there you have it, guys. There is my rankings. Let's go over and have a look at how the ladder sits after round 19. So on the ladder, it sits. The gap has closed now to just 2 points from first to second. It's Collingwood on 56 on top of the ladder. Then it's Brisbane on 54. Then 2 points behind is Adelaide in third. Then the couple teams are game behind are fourth place Geelong, fifth place Hawthorn, who have gone up. Also got both of these teams have both gone up as well. GWS to 6th and Fremantle to 7th. A game behind them on 44 is the Gold Coast Suns, just holding on to 8th spot. Will they possibly miss out on finals? It would be heart-breaking, and I think it would almost be a choke because they had a finals really locked in. They have the capabilities to do it. It will be such a big disappointment and downfall if they don't make finals this year after the way that they've played. Still have the game up their sleeve, though, as well. Western Bulldogs in 9th on 40 points. Then on 36 points in 10th is the Sydney Swans. Could they make a late charge? As I said, I think it's too late. Port Adelaide is 11th on 32. Then we got Carlton on 28 in 12th. 24 points is Melbourne, 13th. Essendon, 14th. In 20 points, we got Richmond in 15th. And jumping to 16th. 15th St Kilda, and jumping to 16th is Richmond. And in 17th on 18 points, we got North Melbourne dropping down from 16th, and West Coast Eagles stay in 18th on 4 points. Well, that's how the ladder looks after round 9. It's getting very, very intense, especially at that top of the ladder. Collingwood only 2 points ahead of them now, so half a game ahead rather than the 2.5 that they were ahead prior after dropping their last 2 games. Before we end it, let's go back and have a look at how I ranked. Sorry, my charger just fell out. Let's just go back and have a look at how I ranked each club's performances this round. In the elite category, I got the Giants, Hawks, Richmond, Fremantle, Adelaide. Contenders, I got Brisbane, Bulldogs, Sydney, Geelong, and Collingwood. Decent, I got Port Adelaide, Carlton, Melbourne, St Kilda. Disappointing, I got Essendon and North Melbourne. And 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach, I got the West Coast Eagles and the Gold Coast Suns. Thank you guys for listening and watching along. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, make sure to leave a like on this episode. Turn the notification bell on so you don't miss an upload. Hit that follow button. And as always, make sure to leave a 5-star rating, as that does help push the show out there. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to leave a like and comment on this video. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out for whenever we upload, and share it off to a friend who you think might enjoy this as well as we continue to grow this community. But thank you guys for watching. Until next time, I'll see you guys then.